And we are live. What's up, beasties? It's Triple B, your friendly neighborhood bearded book beast. Welcome back to the channel and to another episode of Beast Friends Forever. Woo! I am excited to have a return guest back, one of my best beasties, an amazing author that I have been on this journey with from pretty much when I jumped on here and from when he had his first book come out. Good friend of mine, somebody I'm really excited to catch up with and talk about his newest book. He's a great supporter of so many people, including in the indie space, other authors. We'll talk about that. But sorry, we're late. It's my fault. Took my son to get a new camera. He's really into photography, wants to make it like a side hustle thing, something he really wants to get into. And I had to go like 45 minutes away, but because of traffic, it was like an hour there and back. And anyway, that's why we're starting late. But without further ado, let me bring on the star of the show, the incredibly talented and maybe slightly buzzed author, E.H. Bradley. How's it going, man?
Well, you caught me having. It wouldn't be the day, but hey, it's Friday. It's been a long week.
There you go. Is that Foster's?
It is indeed, yeah.
I always like their commercials. Foster's Australian for beer.
I drink it because it's weaker and it takes you longer to get drunk. Well, it means you drink more, you know.
There you go. You can drink more and still be with it, right?
Exactly. So you drink something that's about 5-6%, and then you're there 4 hours later. You're falling asleep.
Always thinking.
So you can have 10, 12, 15.
Oh my gosh. Of those tall cans, I don't know if that's a good idea.
No. Typically, the age I'm not that I'm at the minute, if I have anything more than 7 or 8, then I'm dying for like 2 or 3 days. But 7 or 8 is my limit. They're only like 3.5%, so you can drink them like Coke, and you get a nice buzz.
That's true. 3.5's that's not so bad. That's true.
Just water, but eventually you do get drunk.
Yes.
It's half
Yeah,
eight.
if you drink 7 or 10 of them, like you said.
Well, it's half 8 now, and I've been drinking since 4 o'clock. So I've been sipping.
Oh man, just sipping. All right. It's a good way to do it. Well, let's shout out some people that we got in here with us already. I'm guessing this first one is somebody. I think they're talking to you, Chris Stevenson. So hopefully they're back, but if not, they will be soon. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, that's my best mate.
Oh, that's nice, man. Tim McKay is here. Yes, that's right. End of Friday, hanging out on Beast Friends Forever. I agree. Blake is here. What's up, Blake? Thanks for being here. Another awesome indie author, part of the Dark Veil Society, which we'll talk about in a little bit. Another member, Corvina, is here. What's up, Corvina? You are here. Hopefully you're still here. SS Fitzgerald is here. That's right. DVS in the house. Over Unity says go. Is it Iman? Amen. I just always call you EH, and I never thought about that. Amen. Okay. Amen.
Yeah, Over Unity is my very good friend who I work with at the minute. Is named James. Awesome guy. Very
cool.
Salt of the earth. Great guy.
Awesome. JA is here, another awesome author and supporter. 5:30 a.m. You're here. Oh, do you drink Foster's, JA? Because it must be Australian, right? Australian for beer. Let's see. You are a little fuzzy.
Yeah, I've seen that. I mean, I haven't done anything, so
What's that all about? Now, did you spill some beer on the camera or something?
Not yet, no. Let me see if I can fix it.
I'm gonna keep shouting people out. You keep working on it. Sean is here. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. One of my beasties. Rowdy's here. What's up, Rowdy? I think he's talking to you, calling you his guy, but I'm a guy too, Rowdy.
There we go. We're not.
There we go. It looks better. Samantha's here. Thanks for being here.
Samantha is actually she's a big Stephen King reader,
Ooh, okay.
and she's actually we'll get into this in a bit, but
Mhm.
because there's lots to talk about, not
Oh,
tonight,
yes.
not just
A lot to
today.
catch up on.
And I did promise I would give Samantha a shout out tonight. So hey, Samantha,
There
but
it
we'll
is. There's a shout
talk
out.
more about her later, and that will lead us into other things after the veil. Because cooking, you know me, I don't stop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Well, why don't you start us off? Tell us a little bit about the biggest thing we're here to talk about is your new book. Why don't you tell us a little about, in your own words, about the veil?
Well, now that it's been out for a little while, I
Mhm.
think I could be more open than what I was before. It was very. And what I've noticed about the veil is it's very what's the word? I wouldn't say controversial. It's very divisive. Divisive, is that the word? Because
Divisive?
it's very dividing in the story. Now I just let my imagination flow and fly with this thing. What Charlie and the initial, the kids go through.
Hmm.
When I was about, say, a good halfway through it, I could have kept it as dark as it is and foreboding, but in my head, all I could see was Vengar. It was I had to put them there. I had to throw them over to that side and then not make them superheroes in any way, shape, or form. The thing is, whenever you become unveiled, or you come back to being not under the Veng's control, you don't have superpowers. I mean, most people have little heightened abilities, but it just so happened that these four developed something enough to kind of end the Veng's rule. But
Hmm.
I never wanted them to make them special or overpowered or anything like that. Which, as you can see, even when they have the collars on, when they're in the jail in Vanguard, everything
Hmm.
gets subdued anyway. So it goes right back to a simple thing like a lockpick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once they find that and once they do break free, their abilities kick in slightly, whatever. But it was never meant to be like a. Some people. There was a reviewer who gave me 3 stars. He couldn't even finish the book. He said, "No, no, not having this." And I'm like, "That's fine. That's cool. I totally
Right.
understand." And then there's other people who are like, "Oh my god, I love this. Your slow build, and that is the life of an author." Now, and we all know
Can't
that.
make everybody happy. Yeah.
Exactly. Stephen King says you can't make everybody happy all the time. You can't make what you want to do is make some of the people happy some of the time. And if you're
Hmm.
doing that, you're doing well. I mean, if you're making no one happy at all, then
That's not good.
yeah, get a job at Burger King or whatever. But um, as long as I'm making some of the people happy some of the time. Now Samantha, who's like who I was speaking about before, she's read a shit ton more King than I've read, and I
Hmm.
read a lot. She loves him as much as I do, and she's very I would yeah, she is very picky. And she loved the veil, but she was like, I want you to be amazing. She goes, you have something here that I want to help you tighten that up. And from a seasoned reader who has that experience, you couldn't get any better feedback than that. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Right.
So I will talk later about the other book, but we'll go on that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll get to that.
The veil started with a very simple thing. My ears rang for about Jesus, about a year and a half of really
Oh, wow.
mad tinnitus and vertigo and everything.
Yeah.
And I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. I was at the hospital and the doctor said to me, she goes, Eamon, there's nothing wrong with your hearing. There's nothing wrong with your ears. It's like your fight or flight system is in hyperdrive. It's trying to tell you something's wrong, but as far as I can see, there isn't. And I was like, ooh, oh, hold on. Yeah. So I kind of
What do you
come back as I was writing Ranger. As I was writing Ranger, writing away, the veil grew in my mind at that time. So by the time I was done with Ranger, I had everything. Well, I had up until about halfway, and then what happened was I read Stephen King's Fairy Tale, and halfway there's a beautiful book, but halfway through he ends up getting stuck. Charlie, again, this influence, but he gets stuck in a jail, and it's like a whole separate book. That's
Mm-hmm.
why I love that. That's why I wanted to set it up in a way, and then just go rip the rug underneath your feet and put them through hell, basically, which
Yeah.
is what I went through. It's kind of a mixture of Saw and Razul is just not a nice guy. Now, some people have asked me, why are the Veng so mean? Sometimes in life, people are just mean.
Yeah.
People don't need a reason. Now, I tend to try to be the best I can be, and a decent enough guy. But sometimes I'm angry. Sometimes I'm pissed off, and I say shit I don't mean. But that doesn't generally mean that I'm evil. But some people are generally just really good in controlling their emotions and not getting angry. Some
Mm-hmm.
people are generally nasty, and the Veng
Yeah.
are nasty. But if I wrote the the veil in third person rather than from Charlie's perspective, I
Mm-hmm.
would have fleshed out the Vang so much more. There
Oh
is
yeah.
a there is a reason why they are that way, and from their point of view, they're not evil. They look upon everybody else as lesser than them,
Right.
and their son, their star, if you like, died out a long time ago. That's why they have developed that sphere that Charlie ends up cracking and destroying the world. But so survival to them is number one, and if they can extract energy through negative energy, through influencing people, then they don't care who they hate along the way. So that's
Mm.
what I'm trying to say. Nasty people don't care, narcissists,
Right.
all that. They don't care who they hate, as
Yeah.
long as they get that energy. So the veil is laced with a lot of a lot of meaning, a lot of hidden meaning, if you like.
Yeah.
Especially the state of the world today, governments and don't you just feel like we're lied to? You know, the left and the right, they're both full of shit. They're both, yeah, dude, they're both fucking
Yeah.
liars.
Oh
Every,
yeah.
every government, they're all fucking liars. Every single one of them. And who the fuck are they to say how we should live our lives?
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do
Right.
it in a very Eamon Bradley, Stephen King kind of way. But the meaning's there, the theme's there. If you want to find it, if you want to look for it, fine. If not, it's just a story about four kids, or one kid especially looking for his little brother who went missing.
Yeah.
And I like to think that I like a slow build up. It builds empathy, doesn't it? With the characters, if you spend that time developing them, and then throw them into something mental, because by
Yeah.
that, hopefully by that stage you should be invested in them, and then whenever the ending comes, which I always try to give. Stephen King's known for having really bad endings, and I love his work, but sometimes I'm like, Jesus,
Oh
really,
yeah.
really don't
For
fucking.
sure. Mm-hmm.
At least the only one book out of like I don't know how many I read. The only one book that I read that actually had a happy ending was Fairy Tale, and he even wrote and begrudged the fact, "Here you go, here's your fucking happy ending." I don't even
Right.
wanted to do that, but I'm different. I'm different. I think if you spend that amount of time with a set of characters, now that's not to say that all my endings are going to be good, but at least there'll be something satisfactory.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, 3 days doesn't end that well. That's the way it is.
Oh man. Well, I really enjoyed it, and I just put a written review out. I have a video review that I'm going to put out after this to link our interview and it up together. But um, I said it's like Stranger Things meets um, Teen Titans meets Squid Game. That's what I said it reminded me of.
Pretty accurate description. You know what? That story was just so raw in my head, and by the time that I'd written it all, and the one thing that I was worried about most was the kids going to Vanguard. I was like, did I handle that properly? Did I make it seem reasonable enough?
Mhm.
That they had to go there, but their lives were fucked. They were done because
Right.
there was no other way out. But the only difference, like Ken said to me, goes, I've seen gifts before. I've seen abilities develop, but not like you four. You actually may have a chance of stopping. Do you realize stopping everything?
Right. Yeah.
So I think I handled it well enough, but I knew it was always going to be a controversial point. Where like I love the build up. Like Josh from already overbooked, he loved the beginning, and he loved the other part, but he hates superheroes or hates powers. And he's like, I wish you just kind of kept it dark. I was like, I know, but that's just what I saw, and I thought about it many, many times, but um, I would never rewrite it. But
Right.
I thought about how could I've written it differently,
Yeah.
and they would always end up in Vanguard, no matter
Yeah.
what.
Yeah.
They're always going to win. They're always going to fight back. I love good versus evil. Now, as I grow and as I get, as I'm writing more, sometimes evil wins.
Yeah.
So I'm not always going to say that I'm going to have a good ending. It'll be satisfactory. I'll be like,
Right.
oh
Right. Right.
fuck, oh really? Oh, I hope so. Anyway, I hope so.
Yeah. Well, and in the genre, horror, thriller type genre, sometimes, yeah, the endings aren't always happy, right? That's true.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
true. Speaking of Josh, he is in here now as well. He said King's about the journey, not the destination. That is true. Thanks for being here, Josh. I saw somebody
Very,
else pop in here. Fun hurts my lungs said, so a sequel from the villain's point of view. What do you think
no,
about that?
well, I could very easily, and I've already been thinking about this now. This would not be for a few years yet because I've got so many books queued up in my
Oh
head.
yeah,
But a novella that would accompany the Veil from Lazul's point of view, from the Vang's point of view, would
that'd be
be
cool.
very dark fantasy. Very,
Yeah,
you know, the the reason why Vanguard was shielded with the spear. Yeah, I've got a story for that. But the way that the Veil ends is Marty turns around and says Charlie's like, I can't believe you, with all the fucking brains you haven't realized this one thing. And he's like, what? What? It's probably the first time that Marty's actually caught Charlie out and anything. He's like, what are you on
yeah,
about? What? He goes, well, you know Lex Luthor, don't you? He goes, yeah. Well, isn't he a supervillain? Yeah. What are you on about, Marty? Get to the point. He goes, well, now that we've saved the world and all that shit, blah, 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 and people are developing powers, you do know there are assholes in the world, don't you? It's like, I'm still not with what? He goes, yeah, but we've just given all the good people powers. Haven't we given the assholes powers as well?
mm-hmm.
We just created a whole world of superheroes and supervillains. Not necessarily power, but what the fuck? And Charlie's like, how? And in my mind, that thought of doubt is beginning to grow, and I thought, I'll leave it at that. That opens it up completely for me to go, 5, 10, 20 years later when things have all settled down. Now, you imagine a world where people do start developing, and most people just have heightened thought, not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily the speed, strength, and empathy, and Donna's ability to phase out. Those are like extreme, and I needed those for them to beat such a hostile enemy. So it served the story and it served the purpose, and it all came from their natural personalities. Anyway, Donna was always so frightened in life with her
Right.
pimples and stuff, so she naturally developed an ability to make her skin translucent, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, but what if they're nasty people, real nasty people who just want to hurt or whatever? What kind of powers or what kind of abilities outside of normal humanity would they develop? So that to me, that's all I need.
Yeah.
I've already got. I've got the beginnings of a story that would be very, very, very compact and featured on two characters alone, one
Okay.
good, one bad, and how they grew up, and then how they maybe influence a greater thing. But
Oh,
that
I like that. That sounds interesting. Okay. All right.
there has to be a world after Charlie and the Thing. There has to be. After the
Right.
veil unlifted, there has to be something.
Oh yeah.
Cheval and everyone, living in the real world. So, don't know. We'll see.
Oh yeah, you definitely set up some things that you could work with for sure. Dark Stars Book Cavern is here. What's up, Beastie? Thanks for being here. Appreciate it. An awesome channel. Check her out if you have not yet. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the Veil before we talk about what's next and other things you've got in the works. I have a couple different things I want to talk about with the Veil. So first, I love the cover. Tell us a little bit about the process for the cover, how you came up with it, who you worked with, who did the cover, all of that stuff.
My usual artist is a guy called Shimak on Twitter. He does a lot of Dark Souls and From Software stuff. He's a fantastic artist. He did the Ranger. You remember that cover for the Ranger?
Oh yeah, I love the Ranger. Yep.
So he's very big fantasy, but it took me a long time to decide on the cover for the Veil, and I was like, "What are you doing?" I thought, no, that opening scene when they first walk on to Vengar was
Mm-hmm.
just fixed in my head. When they go through the portal, or they kind of go between worlds, and then I do the big descriptive um, scene where it's what Charlie sees and what the guy sees, the red dome in the background, the sphere over it, and the dead field in the middle. It might seem like that's nothing, but it's not. It's an indication of a world gone dead. I feel like when they're hiding out in the reeds and they come up against that big dog stand. So that's where it came from. Was I could see that so clearly when the kids walked onto Vanguard, that I thought that's got to be the cover, and I wanted it to be obtuse. I wanted it to be what's the word? Not clear. I wanted it to be what the fuck is this? And I hope the blurb and everything ties together.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to get this stuff perfect. There's
Oh yeah.
so many ways you could write the blurb for the Veil or any book. Marketing is the hardest thing. I wouldn't say writing's easy. It's very difficult, but marketing is harder. So I thought I just wanted something, yeah, really obtuse, just really not clear to make you think, what is this? Have you lost me?
Oh, I'm still here. Oh,
Oh, my,
maybe you're frozen up. I can hear you.
okay. I don't know if I'm still live.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're still good. I just can't, we can't you're frozen with your eyes shut.
Oh,
At least
so
on mine. But I can hear you fine.
are we still live though?
Yeah, we're still live.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Oh well.
Yep, I was just trying to find I was going to pull up the Veil cover to show why you were talking about it, but I didn't notice you had frozen, but I can still hear you fine. We're still live. You can keep talking for a minute. I'll share the cover so that your frozen image isn't front and center. So
Right.
hang on a sec. Let's see. Present.
I'm just going to throw it into another tab and see if that works.
Now you
Oh,
sound weird.
feedback. I'm still frozen.
You are still frozen, but we can see you. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in on this. Still trying to figure it out, but there's the Veil, people. If you haven't seen it, very cool cover. There's the field in the middle he was talking about. That's so weird. I don't know why you
Oh,
froze.
what the hell is going on with my camera?
Here,
Shall I?
let me try to put you backstage and then bring you back again and see if it works.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec. Well, now it says your camera's not even connected. I don't even think he's there. So how's everybody doing? We'll give him a second here. I'm gonna Blame the heat. Yeah, that heat can do a lot of things. So anyway, here is the it is always an adventure, Blake, you're right. Here's his cover for The Veil. If you have never seen his cover for his other book, I'll show you that real quick here while we're waiting. Let me show you this. Beautiful for the Rangers, also a very beautiful cover. Let's see, which tab do I have this under? Yep, there it is. There's The Ranger, if you haven't seen it. Very cool fantasy book. Love that cover. Stunning, for real. Let's see. He still hasn't come back yet. Let me see if I... hopefully he can get back on. Let me make sure he isn't trying to reach out to me on here. All right, he's back. There we go. He's got a different camera, it looks like.
Yeah,
Hello.
I think my camera died.
Well, this camera you're using right now is super clear. Is this just
That's
your
better.
phone?
This is my phone.
Wow, it looks sharp, man. Looks
Yeah,
pretty
I
good.
just put it on my phone. I think literally my camera just dived off a cliff and killed itself.
Well, that happens sometimes. It does. It does.
Yeah,
Well, we were
there's
just
there's literally
but
no power going to it.
man. Well, this like Blake said, the image, at least on here, the image of your phone is super crystal clear.
Yeah,
Looks
it's
really
better.
good.
Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to throw this
Oh, no
camera
problem.
out the
We
window.
were just I was just showing off the Veil cover, and then I showed off the Ranger cover, and Samantha says she had the Ranger too and got it for her daughter. Her daughter loves the Ranger.
Yeah, Samantha, I got talking to her. Sorry, just give me 1 second while I plug this thing in.
No problem, man.
Right, I'll hold this up now. So yeah, I got talking to Samantha on Threads through Stephen King kind of thing, and she was interested, and her daughter bought the book, and but the range is very different. When you write fantasy, you have to have a completely different voice, if you like, compared to what I'm doing now. And to tell you the truth, the Veil was very, very, very hard to write because I've never written first person before, and it was so hard being in Charlie's head all the time.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm better. I will get better at it, because you have to write in all perspectives if you're going to be a writer.
Right.
But for a first time effort, I don't think it was too bad. But I thrive better in like I did with the Ranger and the other stuff we're going to talk about now. Definitely in third person telling the story.
Yeah.
It gives me more freedom. The things that I see, smell, feel, even hear and
Right.
touch. I can really go in to that nice detail, but keep it nice, compact, straight, and not overwhelm your reader, if you like.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a different writing style, sure. Let me shout out Marcelo is here. What's up, man? Thanks for being here. Good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. So that was my next question I was going to ask you. So obviously writing in first person versus third is different, but I was going to also ask you what else with kind of a change in genre, like how was this experience different from your first book? Writing it, publishing it, promoting it, like the whole experience, what kinds of things were different for you?
Oh, that is a huge, huge story to begin with, because as you well know, I started out with Dave and Rob and everyone at the Secret Scribe.
Yep.
And I soon realized when I wrote the Ranger. I mean, I love that wee story. I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I think
Me
it's a
too.
great compact little story, and there's so much potential for me to build that world.
Yep.
I've already got the next book in my head, and it's very dark. So I would like to actually go back and rewrite the first one,
Okay.
not completely,
Just a little.
but change the tone, maybe even completely, yeah. Because there's something I think there's something there. I think there's something
Yeah.
there that it was my first book. It was my first. I wrote it in
Mhm.
3 months. It was out 3 months after that. Well, no, after the editing. But there's something. Erden is a great character. Arlene Faradell. It's very
Mhm.
Lord of the Rings, but they're very their own as well. I know there's a nice universe there that I would love to go back to. Just because I write horror now does
Mhm.
not mean that I haven't forgotten my fantasy roots.
Yep.
Um, but I do believe that for now, if I do write the next part of Ranger, it would either be a duology or
Mhm.
a trilogy. But it'd be it would be a lot darker.
I like
Because
that.
what I've learned recently. So I think a good hefty rewrite and a re-release of Ranger would be nice. Um, Second book's epic. It's going to be bigger, grander in scale. Basically, after the end of Ranger, they think they've got away with it. Like Phil just said, he goes, "It ain't over. It's not over
Mhm.
at all. They're going to be hunting for her." So imagine the whole world out for Arlene, basically, because
Mhm.
they're going to be lied to. They're going to want security, and that would be the beginning, the opening. It's going to go nuts. I've got a really good idea for it. But to transition into horror, I find it quite easy, to be honest, because I think that's where I'm more suited.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't really know. I'm still finding my feet. It's 18 months later. I'm writing my fourth book now, so
That's
I'm
wild.
I'm steaming ahead. But I think if I had to choose, it would always be suspense and horror, and
Mhm.
the Veil, 3 days, and my current work is called Puddle People. I know that doesn't sound like anything. I want the title to be obscure. I want you guessing Puddle People. What the fuck does that mean? But you'll see.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. All right. So, well, you said you're writing your fourth book.
Yeah.
What's your third book?
Do you remember the one we talked about where
Yeah. So say, let's talk about what's up next.
well,
What
three
can you
days?
say, or what are you comfortable saying about it?
Oh, I could say a lot. A lot because it's such a big, complex book that I wouldn't really be giving anything away.
Hmm.
But it's the one we talked about before. Do you remember I said the planet comes in with the
Hmm.
atmospheres mix and it drops like an alien microorganism that turns every zombified or whatever?
Yes.
I removed that because
Okay.
I got a better idea. Basically,
Oh. All right.
it's called 3 days, and
3 days.
it
Okay.
the first third of the book um goes through in kind of really intimate detail of how the world could fall apart in 3 days, and then it goes on to what happens after that and how do they get out of this kind of thing. So it's like I think it's about 600 pages long. It's a
Dang.
huge book.
That's
It may
awesome.
even be longer by the time I've had proper beta feedback and everything.
Yeah.
I already know what I want to do with the second draft. Um, I know storylines that I want to flesh out more, conversations that I want to have more, and just I don't think there's much missing from it because it was really difficult. And I really took my time with this.
Hmm.
Everything I wrote, but I chose this time to send out the first draft this early because it's that big. I want to hear. So Josh has got it.
Hmm.
Corvina's got it. Samantha's got it. Samantha's in it. It's not actually Samantha, but I named a character after her in it.
Nice.
Um, so there's your shout out, Samantha. But it's got about Jesus, it's got about 15 main characters to begin with.
Wow. Okay.
And how the infection gets delivered. It's not no longer a planet mixing the atmospheres. It is something that is inspired by something that was been going on in New Jersey since last Christmas.
Okay.
Have you seen all those drones and all that shit?
Yeah. Yep.
The
Yep. Yep.
weird stuff going
Yeah.
on. That's not just happening in your side of the pond, it's happening over here too. And I've
Mm.
seen some videos. It's getting stranger and stranger and stranger. So I thought, what if? What if? And I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that.
All right. I'm intrigued now. Okay. Very cool.
It's
I like.
basically Stephen King's The Stand mixed with 28 Days Later.
Ooh, I like that.
So
That's a good.
in The Stand, everyone who died stayed dead. In 3 days, they don't stay dead
Oh, okay. All right.
at
So
all.
what are you shooting for publication for people that are intrigued now and want to know?
Well, it's gone to betas now. I don't want to see it. I don't even want to think about it until the end of September, at the earliest. So I'm writing my new book now called Puddle People, which is we will talk about later. But I want to get this new book written, done, first
Yeah.
drafted before I even think about going to back to 3 days, because 3 days is that huge and that big. And what I'm going to do is before I rewrite it and write the second draft,
Mm-hmm.
I've already got my own thoughts. I'm going to take all 6 beta readers. I'm going to take all their thoughts, collate them together, see what rings true with me myself.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll read it right through, start to finish, over a week or two, and I'll sit down and go, right, what do I agree with? What do I not agree with? I'm pretty sure Samantha will pick up on loads. Josh will pick up on loads.
Mm-hmm.
Corvina's already read the first half. Rowdy's got it as well. Um, another Sam Tuesday, he's got it too. Well, he's
Oh
read
yeah.
the first half, and the first initial feedback is like, wow, whoa, is. But I want it to be cohesive, and there's so many characters and so many plot lines that have ran through this thing that I don't want any holes. I don't want to mess it up. No, I want everything just from start to finish to just finish up nice. It ain't nice. It ain't pretty. It's not a. I wouldn't say it's not a nice book. There's a lot of goodness in there, but
Yeah.
when an infection, right? No. One of my favorite movies is Dawn of the Dead, the
Mm-hmm.
remake. Now they go through hell. They go through fucking everything, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
In that mall, they develop the wagons that they escape on, and you think just when they fucking make it, you think yes, great, they escaped to an island, and the ending scene of that movie is a video camera where all the dead just go and
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah.
done, because
Yeah.
there's no
I remember that.
surviving in this world. Now Neil Druckmann, for me, for The Last of Us 1, fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
amazing, and he gets a lot of controversy for The Last of Us 2. Because we all wanted Joel to survive, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
We all wanted Joel and Ellie to go through, and I would have loved that for part 2 and then have Joel die in the third one. But he's being realistic. If
Yeah.
something like that, look what happened when COVID hit. We're all fucked. We're all in the house. Nobody could go to work. Nothing. Imagine that virus actually made people will die and then come back 28 days later. Stuff. You ain't surviving that. There's no happy ending. There's no. But it's what happens during that, and it becomes ultimately a story about. I would say the theme to 3 days is just survival. It's not living anymore. It's just
Mm-hmm.
staying alive.
I just thought of that too.
Staying
Staying
alive.
alive. Staying alive. Oh, nice. Some Okie dude. Britton is here. What's up, man? I've not seen the new Superman movie yet. I'm gonna go see it this week with some other booktubers. I can't say because it's not my place to say it, but there may be a video involved, so look forward to that. But um, that sounds pretty good, man. I'm excited. That's cool, and that's 600 pages. That's a chunky boy. That's pretty exciting.
600 pages at least. I mean, I don't think it would be much more than that. If I really had to
Mhm.
flesh everything out, it may go to 700. But there's a lot you can cut. But I hope that it's 600 pages, but I don't think it gets boring. In any way. It's me. I always like when I write something, it just keeps going. The
Yeah,
reason
yeah.
it's that big, I think, is because there's so many characters and there's so many storylines. But I I was writing the ending last week,
Hmm.
and I saw it in my head for about 2, 3 weeks. before I wrote it, so I'm building up to it and building up to it and building up to it. And it's like when I got to write it, things happened I didn't even expect at all. At all. There's a guy called Richard Evans in the book who I think is going to be a very controversial character. People are going to hate him. I love him. He's an absolute asshole. He's a bastard. But he was so much fun to write, But I'm giving away too much now. But right in the ending, things happened that I thought were going to happen 6 months ago or 4. No, I started in February, so I finished now. Yeah. Anyway, a few months ago, but the end was almost to what I thought it was going to be. I think I've made it better. And then when I actually wrote the end, because I was listening to a lot of Hans Zimmer and Last of Us soundtrack, and right at the end, when I wrote the very last few words, I'm not joking. I spent 5, 6 months with these characters, and right at the end, I did. It was so weird. I cried. Not the like I did. I cried. I was like, I was a bit sorry to see them all go, but it was just the way it came. I didn't expect it at all. That's the most fun about writing.
I was gonna say you put a lot of passion into it. That's a good sign, I think.
Yeah, because Blake will always, who's probably in there now, going, there's a big difference between plotters and pantsers, which there is.
Yeah.
Now, you cannot say, I know this now, you can't just pants your whole way through a book. You will have to plan and plot sometimes, but you will not plot to the degree where you plan every single thing. You have little outlines, you have little points, and just guiding lights in the darkness, I like to call it, because when you're sitting down, you got your keyboard in front of you, and you think, fuck, where are we going to go? What are we going to do? It's always leading on from what you wrote before, but you're always thinking about later on, how's this going to affect things? How's this going to do it? I think whenever you have confidence in your writing and you just want to tell a story, you just type and just let it flow. That's where Stephen King can get quite bloated, and you're like, sometimes it can be, and that's me saying that. But I love it because the writing's always beautiful, even if it is bloated, even if it is a bit more. But the trick that he does is every time he goes off on a tangent, it always ties back to the main story.
Right.
So I love that, So I stick with it and go, that's why he did that. I'm kind of, I don't want to go that far because I'm nowhere near that good enough to hold people that long. So I go into that, but then pull it back quicker. I'll pull it back quicker than what he does. But yeah, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. And then even the way I wrote The Veil compared to the way I'm writing now, it's so different. So different.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting better.
Oh yeah, that's the plan, right? Every book you get better as an author. So I think that's the right track to take, right? We've got Greg GJ Terrell is here. What's up, man? I appreciate it. I think he's looking pretty beastly too, getting bigger.
Oh, hi, Greg. Secret Scribes, Greg.
Yeah, old Secret Scribes buddy there. So yeah. So next up, I want to talk a little bit about Dark Veil Society. But before we do, I have to ask you a question. Do you like terrible dad jokes?
I love terrible dad jokes.
All right.
Love them.
All right. But here's the first one. All right. What kind of key has legs and cannot open doors?
I don't know.
A turkey.
Yeah.
There we go. All right. Hold on. I got one more. What has 4 wheels and flies?
4 wheels and flies. Don't know.
A garbage truck. But oh, Tim McKay, I hope you're listening in here, my friend. He loves dad jokes. He actually hates
love dad jokes. I love them. 2 jumper cables walk into a bar. The barman turns around and goes, "Yeah, I'll serve you as long as you don't start anything."
Nice. That's good. I like that. That is top notch. Top notch. Oh man. All right. So tell us about Dark Veil Society, how this started, and how it's going. You guys are just an awesome group of very talented horror writers and suspense writers. I'm really excited about everything that you guys are working on. But just tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. That's a very interesting question because things have developed, should I say, quite a lot in the last few weeks. One of our writers, Jose, who took a marketing course, and what he's done to me is like, same in my writing. So if you said to me the yellow apple tree, right, in my head, it's already doing it. I can feel it now in my head. I'm writing a book. I'm writing a story. Done.
Yeah.
So Jose, now this kind of has got a wee bit of a tangent, but it all relates back. So I'm going to do my Stephen King thing.
Okay.
I started Facebook ads. No, to tell you the truth, I had Amazon ads for the whole way since last October for the Ranger, and it did. I got a few sales, but it cost me about 400 or 500 quid to get maybe 30, 40 quid's worth of.
Mm.
It's an absolute scam.
Oh yeah.
Facebook, fantastic. I started ads, was it Monday this week, as an experiment, 2 or 3 quid a day. That's it.
Mhm.
I've had 8 sales this week, and
Wow.
3 of them are the Ranger. I'm not even promoting the Ranger anywhere.
That's
All
crazy.
it is the ad is just a link to my website, which just links to my books. They work. Facebook ads work. So
Heard it here.
the more money you put in, the more you get back, kind of thing. So that is a very early way of saying. Sorry, I'm actually walking through the house because I need to go, and yeah, it's dark. I'm going to my fridge to get another beer, and I'm gonna go have a sip.
There you go. So dark
So
in that hallway.
yeah, what is happening with DVS is I can't say too much right now, but what I can say is, initially I had when I left, when I was in the Secret Scribes, I realized that fantasy is not where I wanted to be.
Hmm.
Not that I don't like fantasy.
Right.
I had too much of the Stephen King thing in me to
Hmm.
not write suspense and horror and
Right.
all the stories that I want to write. So I gracefully left. I'm sitting outside now having a cigarette.
Oh, looks like a nice day.
Yeah, it's lovely here. Lovely. Sorry, the wife is sitting here enjoying her beer, and
Oh,
I will
that's
not put you on camera. She's sitting in her lounger having a beer, and it's still warm here. Anyway, so as I was saying, I left, or I went to horror and suspense, and
Mhm.
before I did that, I realized it was Dave Lawson who actually created the Secret Scribes, and it
Mhm.
was a great little thing to do, have a collective of authors who work together and
Yeah.
promote each other.
Right.
So sorry, excuse me. So I got talking to Molly
Mhm.
on Twitter,
Yeah.
and
Molly Macabre.
my wife's laughing at me for scratching my ear. Anyway, so I got chatting to Molly, and I approached her with the idea of having an indie horror group and see what we could do. And she loved the idea straight off, loved
Mhm.
it. And through that, then within the space of a few weeks, we had Janelle, SS Fitzgerald, Blake, all the guys, everybody, and
Mhm.
we've grown since there.
Yeah.
But we're not just going to stop. DVS right now is about us. It's like a family. It really is. We've been together now for the last few months, and yeah, it's great. It's great. We have a good laugh, but we help each other. We promote. We ask each other questions. All that. It's great, but that's just the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say anything right now, but there's big plans to change us into something very, very special. Very
Nice.
special.
It's exciting.
But that's I can't I can't go into it too much because we're having meetings, we're having talks, but there's
yeah,
there's going to be a
that's
lot.
good. I mean, you got a lot of talent and a lot of smart heads in that group. So I'm excited to see what you guys have in store. So
The best thing the best thing I love about DVS is the absolute diversity of voices that we have.
oh
Me
yeah,
and Molly, and Corvina, we all write, I would say, quite similar. But then you have Blake and you have S.S. Fitzgerald. You have Janelle, who's the slasher queen.
yeah.
You have Chris, who writes very Lovecraftian.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Ryan. Everybody has their own voice. Alex is, I can't wait to read. God, what's it called? Orchard. Sorry, I'm too pissed to remember the name. But what I'm saying is, we have such a diverse. We cover all the different genres of horror and suspense. It doesn't have to be all blood and guts and whatever. We cover all of them, so I'm very excited to to see where we're going to go. And we're all doing well. Molly's got her new book coming out.
Mm-hmm.
She's got a short story coming out. S.S. Fitzgerald has just released Alone Together, which is awesome zombie military story.
That Blake said that book by Alex is Dead Orchard.
Dead Orchard, yes. It's on my TBR. I'm slowly working my way through all the books. Oh yes, of course, Steve Stark as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
A Hot Dose of Hell was brilliant. And then you got Sledge as well. We've got so much going on, but we want to take it to the next level at some point.
Awesome.
Which is happening soon. So there's plans. It'll take a while to set up what we want to set up and what we're going to do, but there'll be more on that later.
Okay. All right. Exciting. All right. So, in a minute, I'm going to ask you I asked some of these questions the first time I had you on, but I'll ask them again along with some other ones. Just some questions where we can get to know you outside of your writing. But before we do that, we're going to play this game, which should be even more entertaining after all the Fosters that you've had. We're going to play the 1 minute mystery game. See if you can solve a mystery.
Okay.
Do you remember? I think we did these the first time you were on. I think we did one. I don't know if you remember.
I don't know if we did.
Let's see. Let me make sure we haven't done any of these yet. I did that one. Have not done. Let's see. What's this one? Okay, this one. Let me make sure. I don't like that one. Good grief. These are all not very good. Okay, there we go. Okay. All right. I got 3 of them here. 1, 2, 3. Which one do you want to pick?
2.
2? All right. All right. So I'll read you the case and then tell you what the mystery is. And then I have clues. If you want clues, just ask me. I'll give you some clues. But the people in the chat can help. Your wife can help if she hears and thinks she knows what it is. But here we go. All right.
She's got headphones in and she's as drunk as I am.
She's not going to be much help.
She's gone.
All right. Well, the chat is here to
when I
help
get
you.
home from work today, sorry, Chris. When I get home from work today, I've been 8 hours on a building site, and she's there with a pump trying to blow up chair she bought from Temu. I'm like, what are you doing, babe? Like, I need help. So I was like, I just finished work for 8 hours and had to pump up this chair.
Blow up
she's
this chair.
Lying in that chair with a blanket around her waist.
Oh man, so she's comfortable
and drink the beer.
Well, then you did a
Headphones
good
in.
job pumping it up then. And speaking of, we're talking about all the members of Dark Veil, and Steve Stark is here. What's up, Steve?
Hey,
He's
Steve.
here to support the Dark Overlord. I gotta have Steve on the channel soon too.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Here's the case. One man's image has inspired many people to write songs, stories, and poems. He has even compelled some to travel great distance to visit him. For as long as anyone can remember, people around the world have seen him on a regular nightly basis. However, he only shows his face from a distance. When people are able to reach him, he disappears. This one's kind of hard. I feel kind of bad.
I think
So
I'm way
who is
too
the
drunk for
man?
this.
What's that?
I think I'm way too drunk for this, but I'll try.
Oh, we'll see. So who's the man, and basically just who is the man that it's talking about. So I'll give you let's see one. I'll give you the first two clues. It says he's surrounded by stars, but he's not an actor. And farmers, fishermen, and hunters look to him for advice. Now, usually these always have a play on words. So they're trying to lead you one direction when the answer is really in the other.
I'm pretty sure you need to be sober for these.
You can only see him when it's dark out. How about that one?
Yeah, no.
All right, it's not an actual person. It's just it's referred to a man in a certain place. You can only see at night, surrounded by stars. Oh, here we go. Blake says, "Look up." Ooh, Samantha might have it. You want to go with her answer? Man on the moon.
Yeah, that's
You wanna go
better
with
than
that?
I can guess.
It is the man in the moon.
Thank you, Samantha.
Oh man. Yep. We got there. We got you there. We got you there.
No, I'm sure I probably would have done a lot better if I was a lot sober.
Probably.
But I'm not very sober.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I mean this stream will probably not get monetized as you pull out another cigarette. Oh man. This is entertaining for sure. Oh man.
Gotta be.
All right. So are you ready for the questions?
Yeah.
So we can get to know you. All right. We'll start with something easy. All right. You shouldn't have to think too much about this, and I think I remember your answer from the first time, so we'll see if it's changed. But what's your favorite color?
My favorite color? It's either blue or green.
I think so.
I'll go with blue. No, actually,
Blue.
No, blue. Yeah, I'll go with blue.
All right, we're gonna go with blue. Blue is the favorite color. All right. What's your favorite food? If you and your wife were going out to eat somewhere and you can only pick one thing to eat, what would it be?
Steak.
Steak. Nice.
Always. Steak.
What's your favorite like cut? Do you have a favorite cut, or does it not matter?
Nah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I do.
Same.
I do cook fillet steak for me and the missus all the time.
Those are good.
And I'm pretty damn good at it. I do it with garlic butter and prawns.
Oh, nice.
But when I'm out, I like a good ribeye. I like a good big fat fucking steak.
Oh yeah.
Get my teeth into, you know. And I love the fat, the gristle. But in saying that too, I do love lamb chops as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
And proper mashed potato. Proper mashed potato.
Oh, proper mashed potatoes. Okay.
Yeah, not that shit you get in restaurants. The stuff I make at home. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like where you actually mashed it up yourself. It's got a little skin in there.
No skin. Are you mental? Jesus. No. What you do is you boil them, you mash them without any butter, nothing to start with. Break the shit out of them. You just smash them up.
Yeah.
Then you put your butter in. Then a little tiny bit of milk, loads of butter, and then some salt, and then at the end whip them up like you would whip something up. I don't know. But that is my mash is like clouds. It's like eating clouds when you're done.
Oh man, that sounds good. Some buttery clouds, huh?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we next question. We know you're good at writing, you're good at slamming beers, but what's a hobby or a talent that you have that we don't know about? What's something that you're good at or something you like to collect or do that we don't know about?
Before I started writing, I would play guitar
Okay.
or a shit ton of video games. But ever since I started writing a year and a half ago, that's pretty much all I do now.
Not as much time for that.
I
Man.
do that and drink with the missus, and uh, that's pretty much it. But I'm reading and writing all the time because there's no point in entering this industry or even trying to become serious about a writer unless you read and write every day. It's the only way you get good. There's no shortcuts. There's no magic feather like Dumbo had to come down and go, oh, there you go. It's hard work.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be necessarily every day. If your life doesn't allow for that, then that's okay. You know, like Molly's very busy, but she's such a great writer. Very
Mhm.
busy with her kids and stuff like that. I have the luxury that my boy's 18 now.
Yeah.
It's just me and Jane.
Right.
And when I finish work, because she works in care, I've got those few hours every day. And even when I'm working, when I'm doing carpentry, I'm thinking about books. I'm thinking about the
Oh yeah.
stories, the current thing. So
Yeah.
my mind is totally story orientated. Apart from today, where I decided to get pissed and have a chat with you. But it's not very often. I only take one day off a week.
Oh
Well,
wow.
no,
Okay.
that's a lie. Because as soon as I wake up tomorrow morning, me and her, we're going to the beach,
Oh nice.
and we're going to be drinking all day.
So not much writing getting done tomorrow.
Yeah, but I've earned it. I've earned it. You know.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the beauty of being self-published, right? You're in charge of when you write and when you don't. So you don't have to worry. You
They're
can
published
enjoy
on
a day here and
Amazon
there.
right now, but is there plans to change that and maybe be published somewhere else?
Oh, all right.
Could DVS possibly do something like that?
Uh,
Right, that's all I'm saying.
we better not talk about it anymore. I feel like the Fosters is making you get loose lips. You better be careful.
No, but I think that's enough of a hint to go that DVS is not just going to be.
I kind of was wondering along those lines. So that's a very exciting hint. I like that. I like the sound of that.
That's all
That
I'm
is
saying for
pretty
now.
cool.
Yeah, DVS is going to be a powerhouse for indie horror.
That's awesome.
Um, and this time next year when we talk, we still might be on the way, or we might be there.
Yeah, you
But
never know what time will
we're
tell.
going there.
That's good, man. That's exciting. I
Mm.
love hearing that. Broke the news here first. I'm going to remind everybody when you guys are chugging along.
Yeah,
Or actually, maybe I won't. Maybe I won't point people to this interview.
it's so exciting because all the guys are so talented. Every one of
Oh
them.
yeah.
I'm reading Corvina's the Coven right now, and God, it's so funny and so beautifully written. Every one of their books. I mean, I can't say I would have a favorite. I'm working my way through them, but they're all so different and so beautifully written that it just. And I'm not. I don't want to like say something like the indie writing is crap, but I think the guys are the cream of the crop, and there's so much potential, and we're all just starting as well. Every one of them: Steve Stark, Molly, Janelle, S.S. Fitzgerald, Ryan, Jose, and forgive me if I don't forget to mention anyone, but they're all great, and
Mhm.
I'm so you want to see our Discord. That we have. I actually created a room, an adult room the other week because sometimes when we all get there and it gets a bit too feisty, and there's an NF, what is it? Not safe for work room where we
Oh
can go
yeah.
and be filthy and have a laugh, whatever.
Hey, that's good. That's
I'm not
fun.
in there because I'm a good lad. I don't talk like that.
Oh yeah. Of course
Horny
not.
jail is what it's called, yeah. And you can blame the other half of the Sean sandwich, which I know they're both there right now. It's the South African Sean sandwich half that I'm blaming, but I love him. But the the American half of the Sean sandwich is just as bad. Yes, I'm talking to you.
Oh yes, there he is. Oh, you guys crack me up.
Yeah,
I can
DBS.
definitely tell you guys have a
DBS are
lot of
awesome.
fun.
The whole thing is like, look at Janelle. You wouldn't think butter
Oh,
would melt in her mouth, and then you read the Clatterman, and you're like, what the fuck? You read that, you know, Death Cult. I mean, I started
oh yeah.
off reading that. I was like, yeah, sorry, okay, it's nice. And I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh, I
whoa,
know.
whoa, whoa.
I know.
Um,
She's so sweet. She's got quite the twisted little writing mind though, which I love.
and uh, eyes wide, eyes wide open. Oh, what a book, Jan. It's fantastic, man. The only thing I didn't like about Eyes Wide Open, it wasn't long enough.
Hmm.
I wanted more. I love his writing style. It's very clean, very direct, and so it's beautifully written. And then when it kicks into the horror part, you're like, what the fuck? What? And then it just goes. Then he kind of levels it off a little bit, and you think, okay, okay, right, things are going back to normal. It's gonna be fine. No, 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 no. Then it just gets worse, and I'm like, Jesus fuck, brilliant, man, brilliant.
Oh
But that's
man.
what I'm talking about. I wouldn't necessarily write in that very in your face gruesomeness, but I love it. I'll take a slower build, towards that. But that's DBS though. Like Molly will too. She takes a slower build, and I'm really excited for her short story, her new book.
Oh yeah.
God, I love all their work. I wish I had more time in the day to get through their books quicker. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I think I've read a good 10 by now, or
Right.
around. And yes, Blake, I will read Who Put Bella in the Elm Tree. It's there. I'm getting through Corvinus, but at the same time, I have to read my own stuff that I want to read
Yeah.
that helps me learn, which is, I read a lot of Cormac
Yeah.
McCarthy, Richard Matheson, and obviously Stephen King.
Yeah.
That's part of my growth. So I mix that with the DVS books.
Yeah.
That's why it takes me so long getting through those. So I balance the two,
You got to
and you
balance it.
have to, you have to,
Yeah.
you have to read wide, and you have to be
Yeah.
very open. And it takes a very what I've noticed. I've only just found
Uh-oh.
in style, literally in I would say the last month or so.
Okay.
The way I wrote the Veil is not the way I write now at all. When you read 3 days, you'd be like, "What the fuck? This is so different," because it's time. It was only my second book. I
Hmm.
think that 3 days is more closer to the Ranger in terms of style,
Okay.
but the Ranger is so. The, to me, the Ranger feels 20 years ago now, as to what I've learned over the last year
Oh,
and a half.
that's awesome, man.
But where I am right now, I'm happy.
That's good.
I'm confident now. Now, just when I sit down and write, I don't even think about it. It just
Just
comes
do
out,
it.
and I'm really happy. It's coming out nice, nice.
That's good. That's what you want. That's the dream, man. Living the dream.
She's
Uh-oh.
sitting there, headphones in, had a couple of joints, bottle of beer in her hand, and she's laughing at the cat running around
I
crazy.
say I heard her giggling off screen.
Yeah, there she is.
Oh, she's gonna be mad. You said you weren't gonna put her on camera.
Yeah, but don't tell her anything. She can't hear me because she's got the
That's
headphones
true.
in.
That's true. That's true.
Beautiful though, eh?
Oh man, that's awesome.
She's my number one supporter. When I'm like, I can't do this. I'm shit. I can't fucking do it. No, I'm crap. She's like, you just
She's
keep
got you.
doing what you're doing, and she reads it, and then we sit sometimes when we're sitting having a few beer, and we like to have a beer. Hey, fuck it. You're a long time dead. I remember my martial arts teacher always told me that you're a long time dead. So you might as well enjoy yourself while you're here.
Yeah,
Work
I
as hard
agree.
as you can and follow your dreams.
Yeah,
Because as soon as you're on that grind, you ain't coming back.
yeah,
So I love that saying, and I will
that is
write
really
that
good.
into a book sometime. You're a long time dead,
You
and
should.
it's so powerful. You are.
It
You ain't
is.
coming back from that. So fuck it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, this isn't 3 days later. We're not coming back.
Oh no, you're gonna like 3 days. I can send you a beta copy if you want.
Yeah, man, send it up. I'd love to.
I will expect feedback within the next 2 to 3 days.
Oh, of course. I'll give you some feedback.
No, I'm not even going. I'm not even rewriting it until September at all.
Okay.
It's with probably some of the best beta readers I could an indie author could have. Samantha is so versed in King, who I love, and
That's awesome.
all my writing is based, even my
Yeah.
style is. I don't want to copy him, Chris. I don't,
Right.
not in any way, shape, or form.
Right. But
But
you're inspired by him. Yeah.
I love his structure. I love his
Mhm.
flow, and I think I'm getting that down to the point where I can tell a story nice. Your narration should be soft. It should be flowing and um use words that you don't normally use, compare things you don't normally compare. Am I really dark here? No one can see.
Yeah. It must be getting really dark outside.
It is getting a
And I
bit.
guess it is what? By you, it's like almost 10 o'clock,
What I'll
right?
do is I'll light a fag so you can see me.
Oh,
So
yeah.
then you got Samantha, I cannot wait to hear her thoughts on this, and I will put all them together before I write the second draft. Then you have Josh. Josh is highly underrated as a YouTuber and a
Oh, he's
reviewer.
awesome.
He's fantastic, man. Me and him, last time I spoke to him, we were on the chat for at least an hour. Afterwards, I was talking about my future works, and he's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you could do this, you could do," and I was like, "Whoa, yes, dude, we are going to, we're going to connect." And
Oh, yeah.
you have Covina, who's fantastic. She loves 3 days, and she's read the first half. You got my friend Sam, and you got Rowdy. Rowdy hasn't read 3 days yet, and I know he's a fan. Woohoo! Which is great.
Oh, yeah.
Um, so yeah, I've got 6 good solid beta readers that I will take all those opinions, all those thoughts, and my own thoughts, and then when I sit down to write the second draft, that will, to me, will make it ready for the editor. It'll make it ready. So even if they come back and go, no, I don't like this, I don't like that. Oh, you should. That's fine. It's 100% fine. I'm ready for that because these people, your beta readers, is what makes you a great writer. Because you need to see outside of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
If I
For sure.
spend 5, 6 months writing a book, all I can see is what I see.
Hmm.
You need that time apart. That's why I'm writing Puddle People right now, which is, oh, I'm really excited. It's yeah.
I am too, man. Just that title has me so intrigued.
I want to tell you about it, but I don't want to reveal too much. Okay,
No,
I
no,
could tell you a little. I could tell you a little bit. I could tell you a little bit. It features a guy, oh sorry, a scientist, if you like, who just wants the world to be good, basically. Sick of war, sick of right and left, sick of all. You'll see these themes like it's in the veil because I'm
Okay.
sick of this
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. You froze again. This time I don't hear him.
Yeah.
Oh, there. I can hear you again. You're back. You
He
froze for
made
a
his
second.
he made his fortune by accidentally. He loves the most important meal of the day, as they tell you, is your breakfast, isn't it?
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
you feel better having a full belly, facing the day. You're done. So Walter's favorite menu meal would be a cereal in the morning, Crispy Flakes, whatever it is. But he
Hmm.
hated the fact that by the time you even got halfway through the bowl, they were already soggy. So he was not. I wouldn't say he was a failed inventor, He had
Mhm.
great ideas. He just never got recognized yet. So he thought, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to make a serum that keeps my flakes crispy right down to the last bowl, right down to the end. And what he did was, when he did this, he accidentally created the nicest cereal in the world. It's like, whoa, what is this flavor? Within 6 months, he was on every single breakfast table in the world. And that's how he made his fortune. So, the beginning of the story tells this, it leads it in, but he's still not happy with the world. So he comes up with an idea. Can I reveal this? I suppose it can.
You
'Cause it's
better not
very
do
early
it.
in the
You better
business.
not. You better not. You better tell me. You can tell me off after when we get off.
Yeah,
You
I'll
can-
leave it. I'll leave it. I'll leave it. I'll leave it at that. Yeah, because I might end up revealing too much. But again, I'm very character driven. Very You might have an initial story or initial idea,
Mhm.
but it's the characters who shape the world. It's the characters who shape the story. I started it yesterday and I wrote 2,000 words in about 45 minutes. I've got it that clear in my head. Yeah,
Oh
I can't wait.
man. All right, it's exciting. Exciting. Well, you are a great storyteller and you do characters very well, my friend. So I'm excited for all of the things you have in the works. It has been we're over an hour and 15 minutes already. Can you believe it? It's been flying
Holy
by.
shit! Yeah, we are.
I know. So I think we're gonna wrap it up here. I have to start making dinner because here it is not 10 o'clock. I cannot just sit and relax outside like you right now, my friend. I
Had a
got
few
kids to
beers.
make dinner
Go to
for.
bed. Very, very drunk.
But this has been a blast. It's always a blast talking to you, man. But I'm excited to check out your new stuff, and I'm excited to have you back on for sure when your new books come out. But anytime you or have anything you want to come on and hang out and talk about, I am always game, my friend.
Okay, man. No worries. I will.
Um,
I'll send you a copy of 3 Days tomorrow.
all right.
Once I've sobered up and stuff.
I'll remind you if I don't hear anything, in case you forget this conversation. But before I do my closing spiel, two things. One, I'm going to give you the floor to shout out anything you want, talk about anything you want. But also for everyone in the live chat and replay, links in the description to both of Eamon's books, The Ranger and The Veil, as well as a link to the website for Dark Veil Society, so you can check all that out. But the floor is yours, my friend. Anything you want to share, shout out, talk about before we go?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for all your work you do in the indie sphere. People like us would be nothing without you. So a big shout out to you, Chris. You're
I
amazing,
appreciate
and we
that,
all
man.
love you. We all love you in DVS. Have all the guys on. Have a good chat with everyone. Go through the lot. A big shout out to DVS, obviously. Love you all, and I'm really excited for the future we have. And a big shout out there to Samantha. I hope you enjoy 3 days, and she is in there. Not necessarily her, but her name's there.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, keep writing, keep reading, and one day our stories will be around the world, and that's ultimately. It's not even about money. It's just about people reading your books and going, "Fuck yeah, that was awesome. I love that." So yeah, writing, reading. It's what the world. It's what makes the world go round. And
Heck
I
yeah,
love you
man.
all. I love you all. And talk to you there.
Well said, my friend. Well said. And we love you too. All right. So, everybody, thanks for hanging out with us. This was a blast. Had a fun time. The chat, you guys were awesome. And everybody watching on replay, we appreciate you as well. And we'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a great weekend. We will chat soon. And until I see you in the next one, as I always say, devour your TBRs, be brave, be beautiful to one another, and be beastly. We'll see you, everybody.